Hello, everyone. Welcome to the News Browse News broadcast. According to Zio Sabal, a new Ebola outbreak in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, DR Congo, has caused at least 80 deaths and seen infections spread to neighboring Uganda. In response, the World Health Organization, TOBLE-HE, on May 16th, declared the outbreak a public health emergency of international concern. The Tugnas-Tamak epidemic of AIDS is caused by the Bundibugyo strain of the Ebola virus, though it has not yet met the criteria for a pandemic emergency. The Tugnas, the May 16th, DR Congo's Ituri province reported 80 suspected deaths, 8 lab-confirmed cases, and 246 suspected cases across at least 3 regions: Bunia, Rwampara, and Mongwalu. The Tugnas also noted that the actual scale of the epidemic is likely much larger due to a high initial positivity rate and a rising number of suspected cases. Furthermore, Uganda's capital, Kampala, reported 2 seemingly unrelated lab-confirmed cases on May 15th and 16th, one of which was fatal, with both patients having returned from DR Congo. DR Congo's capital, Kinshasa, also recorded 1 lab-confirmed case with a travel history to Ituri province. The Tugnas outbreak Uganda 11 Artis 70 Tories 16 A2 HEP Dumi H. A Kanjugnas every head setted their sobel he queldi out condeferate. It heavy whose is date malajois. The Tugnas obli choges, validi soul work, a tour. NHK reports that the U.S. military has announced the killing of senior members of the Islamic State militant group, also known as ISIS, in an operation conducted in Nigeria. The U.S. Africa Command stated that the operation took place on a Saturday in the northeastern part of the country, in coordination with the Nigerian government. Among those killed was a senior leader who provided strategic guidance to the ISIS global network for weapon and drone development and manufacturing. This individual was also involved in planning attacks and directing hostage-taking. U.S. President Donald Trump claimed on social media that the slain man was the second in command of ISIS globally, adding that his removal greatly diminished ISIS global operations. Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu extended his gratitude to Trump via social media, expressing his anticipation for more decisive strikes against terrorist enclaves nationwide. The report also notes that Trump had previously insisted on the killing of Christians in Nigeria last year, pressing the government for more action and hinting at U.S. military intervention. However, U.S. media has cited analysts who suggest that Christians are not necessarily attacked more frequently than other religious groups in Nigeria. NHK reports that Pakistan's Interior Minister has visited Iran in an effort to advance U.S.-Iran peace talks, aiming to end ongoing tensions. Minister Mohsen Naqvi held discussions with his Iranian counterpart, Eskandar Momeni, on Saturday. Iranian media highlighted Pakistan's role in facilitating dialogue and promoting regional peace, noting detailed talks on resuming negotiations with the U.S. However, both the U.S. and Iran have maintained rigid positions, posing significant challenges to these mediating efforts. U.S. President Donald Trump, in a recent interview, threatened to destroy Iranian infrastructure rapidly and expressed certainty that Iran would capitulate. Concurrently, the New York Times reported on U.S. and Israeli preparations for potential attacks on Iran. Meanwhile, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, during a visit to India, stated a fundamental distrust of Americans, identifying it as the primary barrier to any diplomatic progress. US President Donald Trump concluded his visit to China, with the Chinese Ministry of Commerce announcing 5 positive outcomes in economic and trade discussions, including the establishment of a Trade and Investment Council and an agreement in principle for reciprocal tariff reductions. However, on his return to the U.S., Trump confirmed that China has not approved the purchase of NVIDIA H200 artificial intelligence chips. This decision, reported by CNDA, stems from China's strategic commitment to independent research and development in core technologies. U.S. Trade Representative Greer further emphasized that these talks did not entail a full lifting of chip export controls, recognizing China's resolve to localize advanced chip production as a potential challenge to American car dominance. This move by Beijing underscores its determination to achieve technological self-reliance, even as NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang had previously warned about the detrimental effects of losing access to the Chinese market. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.